Japan's strangest attack on the United States during World War II did not involve submarines, bombers, or commandos. It involved paper balloons. In late 1944, Japan launched thousands of hydrogen-filled incendiary balloons known as fugo, hoping the jet stream would carry them across the Pacific Ocean and into North America. It was one of the most unusual long-range attacks of the war, and for a time it remained almost completely hidden from the public. The idea came from a real scientific discovery. Japanese planners understood that high-altitude winds moved quickly from west to east across the Pacific. If a balloon could survive the journey, it might drift over the United States or Canada and release incendiary and anti-personnel devices. The plan was not to destroy cities outright. It was to start forest fires, spread fear, divert resources, and prove that the American homeland was not untouchable. The balloons themselves were remarkable in their construction. Many were made from handmade paper, glued together in large panels, then coated to withstand cold, moisture, and extreme altitude. Suspended below the balloon was a ring carrying sandbags, bombs, and a simple but ingenious control system. As the balloon lost altitude at night, a barometric mechanism would drop ballast to keep it flying. When the ballast was gone, the same system would release its weapons and finally destroy the balloon itself. Japan launched these weapons in huge numbers. Historians generally estimate that more than 9,000 fugo balloons were sent across the Pacific between late 1944 and early 1945. Most were lost over the ocean. Some fell harmlessly in remote areas, but enough arrived in North America to prove the concept had worked. Reports of balloon debris, strange fires, and unexplained objects began appearing across the western United States and Canada. American authorities quickly recognized the danger, but they made an unusual decision. Instead of broadcasting the threat, they suppressed most news of the balloon campaign. The goal was simple: deny Japan any confirmation that the balloons were reaching their targets. Newspapers were asked not to report incidents, and for months, the public knew almost nothing about the attacks. It was a quiet information blackout inside a democracy at war. In military terms, the Fugo campaign caused limited physical damage. It did not ignite the massive forest fires Japan had hoped for, partly because many balloons arrived in winter, when conditions were too wet for fire to spread easily. But the attack was still extraordinary. These were intercontinental weapons carried not by engines, but by wind. They crossed an ocean using a mix of atmospheric science, improvisation, and desperation. Then came the most tragic incident. On May 5, 1945, near Bly, Oregon, a pastor's wife and 5 children discovered a balloon on the ground during a church outing. It exploded. All 6 were killed. They remain the only known people on the continental United States killed by enemy action during World War II. It was a small incident in military scale, but a devastating one in human terms. The Fugo story reveals something deeper about the final phase of the war. By 1944 and 1945, Japan was under immense pressure, losing territory, ships, aircraft, and industrial capacity. Yet it was still searching for ways to strike back with whatever means remained. The balloon bombs were cheap, clever, and psychologically potent. They were also a sign of strategic exhaustion, an empire trying to weaponize the wind because more conventional options were slipping away. For more, subscribe to Moments Before Zero.